Hi guys, I'm Bushwifer here back with another video, and for today I'll be doing a new part of What If Deku Was an Infinite Stratus. Well, I'm sorry guys for not uploading because I'm busy with school. It's almost our tests, or should I say exams, which are I guess before our midterm or summative. So yeah, so that's the reason I'm not uploading for a while. Because I need to focus up on studying, as well as there's a lot of schoolwork, so it's gonna be difficult. But yeah, for now I'm gonna do What If Deku Was an Infinite Stratus. So with that out of the way, let's begin the story. We last left off when uh, all of the girls are sleeping with Izuku, and they wake up. Essentially, Izuku was in the typical um, what the typical hentai harem protagonist sleeping position, like for example, like in High School DxD. That's a good example of that's a good example of the sleeping positions that Izuku is in. He basically in the middle, and all of the girls are surrounding him. Essentially, he wakes up and gently, and I mean gently, uh, get out of the bed and walk downstairs to not disturb his honey or darlings, you could say. So he eventually went to the kitchen and actually made some food. He made French toast, some teas and crumpets, or should I say, teas and crumpets, some omelets, and obviously bacon and eggs, as well as pancakes, which Izuku was well known for, or should I say, Izuku was well known in the Infinite Stratos universe for his pancakes. For the years that he was, or the time skip that I did, Izuku was very, very well known in making pancakes. That's why he was always, considered the cook always in their training or boot camp, as well as missions if they had to go for long whiles or training. So yeah, eventually from the smell of bacon, and I mean bacon, eggs, the famous pancakes, all of the girls are all on the dining table, and I mean it's like 1 second they're not there, and the other second they're there. It it was just like in a blink of an eye. They were not there and they're there. Make sense? It was just like that they teleported, which they were hungry, and I mean really hungry. Not that kind of hungry, okay? But yeah. So Izuku just says so that's what it is to take for you guys to wake up. Just my famous pancakes. Sorry about that. There was an annoying car outside. Sorry. Well, yeah. Eventually, they just nodded and said that give us the pancakes. And Izuku delivers all the food. Izuku gets some pancakes as well as an omelet and as well as bacon, because we we need our bacon. As well as for the drinks, he took let's just say coffee. Yeah, a coffee. Just to make him wake up for or be charged up for the whole day. Essentially, after that, they essentially were dressing up, uh, attending school, except for Shifuyu and Maya, because they were going to be teachers. If I ever forgot to mention this, yeah, there were going to be teachers there. Which, get ready for the hellish training from Shifuyu. And yeah, so eventually they arrive at school. Izuku being surrounded by all the women, and a lot of the guys getting jealous. A lot of the guys of UA getting jealous because of who wouldn't? What guy wouldn't be jealous if another guy has all the girls around him, like literally throwing themselves at them? That's there's a highly good chance that they're gonna be jealous. So Izuku got that clout, you could say. So yeah, eventually they arrive in class and they arrived at their seats. What happens is that Izuku is just minding his own business, but Bakugo always wanted to, say that he's better and sort of bitch. By the way, it's good that Bakugo, let's just say, straightened up in the manga, but man, did did Bakugo really is an asshole in the anime? He really is an asshole. Which sorry for saying, but yeah, it's true. What do you expect? He's an angry Pomeranian essentially. But yeah, eventually when Bakugo lands his eyes on Izuku's face, he starts to get angry and charges Izuku because of being jealous and thinking that he was being looked down upon. Sorry for saying that voice, but yeah. But Izuku had other plans. Izuku summons his I could say floating knives. I forgot, or yeah, the floating knives that on his IS that reuse weapons essentially, which he uses them and blocks an attack from Bakugo's explosions and actually counters back. And with the style of Izuku using, which is the blade dance, it's actually elegant as well as deadly. Let me explain, but to all League of Legends players out there, Irelia, that's your reference. A deadly person with with the with the with the artistic of a dance, which essentially, yeah, which Izuku just to block every attack that Bakugo has. He spins around his the swords to or the blades around him or around his face or any part of his weak spot just to not get damage from Bakugo, as well as attacking using another I could say another set, and attacking Bakugo by dashing, as well as I could say, yeah, dashing as well as cutting him, which luckily Izuku didn't went as hard. He just had some minor scratches and bruises because he doesn't want to let's just say injure Bakugo so badly that he doesn't that he is not gonna stand up anymore or paralyzed from the neck down, which is a terrifying experience. I didn't experience it, but it is a terrifying experience. Just imagining it is terrifying. So yeah, which eventually Aizawa came in as well with Shifuya and Maya, and Shifuya was introduced to the class saying that she is our new hero course teacher, as well as Maya over here as our strategist teacher in our hero course, because we have noticed that students wanted to be heroes are really, and I mean really make impulsive decisions. So we hired Maya, Miss Yamada over here, to help us with that problem in particular. So, Izuku looks at Maya and Shifuya and waves at them, and Maya and Shifuya wave back with a smile on their face. Which eventually Aizawa explains about the sports festival, which Sports festival is in 2 days from now because reason being Izuku was gone for so long. They haven't had the sports festival because of dealing with the press and all about the missing student, and so yeah, it's kind of difficult. And yeah, essentially after that, after Aizawa essentially tells the students about what will happen or what the sports festival is to get him a chance, which Izuku doesn't really need a chance because reason being he will make his very own uh in, in his very own internship in the future, and he doesn't really need any training. But if he needs training, I would guess Gran Torino again because one for all. So essentially, Gran Torino again. But yeah, Izuku is essentially gonna make in the future internship. Oh yeah, internship for newbies, or should I say quirkless people, because he noticed that the should I say discrimination against quirkless people in the MHA world is somewhat high. They treat them like dirt, so I don't want that. And who doesn't want that? See, there's a lot of people that don't want discrimination. So I, for one, am one of those people. So yeah. So what happens is that for the 2 days, when they went back home and Aizawa revealing the sports festival, Izuku starts training again using Black Whip. His his uh his weapons, not his IS, which they ban. They said to Izuku, do not use his IS. He can use anything else, but not his IS. And I mean by that is that Izuku can only use the mini form of the IS, but he cannot use the full armored one. He can only use the slim mode, or yeah, slim mode. And for Charles as well as the others, Izuku was helping them, giving them permission to use weapons, which are somewhat rubber bullets, katanas, kendo sticks, as well as what else? What else? What else? A lot of essentially a lot, and I mean a lot of or should I say, a lot of materials or genius genius creations that they have created. For example, Kanzashi's spear. She can use that, but cannot transform. Yeah, yeah, she can transform to her IS, as well as every other IS user in the MHA world. Which yeah, it's kind of difficult, but they can use their weapons, but now nothing explosive or lethal. If they ever need to use their weapon, they have to use the blunt part. No stabbing, no stabby. So yeah. So eventually, that's what they're training. Eventually, the day came, which was the sports festival. Which first one, the first to make the speech was Bakugo, which is go the same. It goes the same in canon, really, and I mean really the same in canon. All Bakugo being all high and mighty, which Izuku's gonna let me just say Izuku's gonna drop Bakugo from a few pegs, you could say, because he doesn't like his attitude, and who doesn't like Bakugo? Who doesn't like Bakugo's attitude? So yeah, essentially, and the first match was the race, which Izuku won easily using One for All as well as Black Whip, essentially doing it like Spider-Man style. But essentially there were no buildings. But when it came to the zero pointer, well, Izuku just used One for All, just kicked it to make way for others. So he went and got first place. For the cavalry battle, well, this is the tricky part about right here. he wants to go with the girls, but they are a lot, and I mean a lot, so he has to choose. He has to choose either go with Charles, Laura, Rin, or go with Hoki, Kanzashi, as well as what's Cecilia. So he picked with Charles, obviously. And sorry for stuttering and stuff. I really forgot a few about the names that I'm reading. Essentially, I got lost in thought. Sorry, but yeah, he went with Charles, Laura, and Rin, which luckily Tatenoshi hasn't got a group, so he went with his sister. Her sister, Kanzashi, with Cecilia and Shifuyu. Oh, not Shifuyu, Hoki, sorry. But yeah, that happens. Which, if you're wondering what happens in the cavalry battle, well, it's essentially a tie between our boy Izuku, as well as Cecilia and the others. But Izuku got, for the last few seconds, he actually got a headband from another opponent because of using his black whip to essentially like Spider-Man's web shooters, like getting getting stuff from the ground, essentially like that. He essentially did essentially like Spider-Man. So for the what should I say? So for the fights, well, Izuku versus Shinzo. Well, obviously Izuku would win. Ryu immediately says, "Be wary of Shinzo," because Izuku upgraded, learning from Hoki's sister or Tabane, from how to edit the IS or edit the IS a little bit or tweak or upgrade it. He learned that from Tabane. So yeah, which Tabane is actually quite a good teacher in technology, by the way. So yeah, which Izuku just uses Black Whip, essentially not using ISs, just using Ryu as a Jarvis and stuff because he doesn't want to have an unfair advantage having weapons because he has a hero code that essentially is always protect people, don't use weapons on anyone if only use weapons if necessary, which Izuku will use weapons if necessary, as I said, or yeah, use weapons as necessary, which he knocks out Shinzo. But Shinzo doesn't really, have the same speech and stuff of it's fine being, Izuku doesn't know how it feels to be, to be considered as a villain, which Izuku really knows because level with me here. Let's cut from the story for now and level with me. First of all, um, what? Why does Shinzo, see that Izuku, doesn't understand? Because first of all, Izuku understands because he was once almost, and I mean almost, snapped that line that was almost dangling before him by just a thread. That the line that he was hanging on by a thread, the only cut off the wind, and he was going to be a villain. But with just one word from All Might, "You can be hero," he had hope. That's the reason he knows a lot about this, is because he was treated badly. First of all, he was treated badly. He has every right to have pain and or be angry, but eventually, because of the things that happened in his past, will happen in the future. He will wreak havoc and chaos. This is essentially how serial killers are made, or psychopaths are made. I'm really sorry for saying it, but yeah, it's essentially how it happens. Bullying as well as depression leads to killing, killing psychopaths or a lot of disorders, which which I don't want to talk about, which I have, for all of the people that are watching, I only have one thing to say to you guys, and listen to me well. Uh, I own, and I want you to place this in your hearts that whichever, if you have problems or you have to deal with problems, don't do an Izuku Midoriya. And I mean, don't do an Izuku Midoriya. I mean by that is keeping it for yourself. Don't be Izuku. I mean by that is that talk to someone about your problems so that you essentially can feel great in the future. So that a lot of you guys will be happy, which everybody loves to be happy. So, that's my lesson for you guys. Always talk to someone if you're having a tough time and really need someone to talk to. Just talk to someone. It's a, if ever even who you need to talk to, if you're asking me, if you need to talk to someone, talk to, I guess, a priest or a pastor. They're always good people to talk to, or as well as your parents. If not available, go to your friends, your closest friends that you consider very close, because there's one thing that a friend does. There are obviously fake friends, which sometimes you don't want to talk to them because we don't really know that they're fake friends until it's too late, which when we are essentially hurt, which I don't want that to happen to you guys. So please listen to this lesson, and thank you, and always be happy for what you got, because there's always people that are, have worse situations. So be happy for yourself, and yeah, and always look on the bright side of things. Don't always look at the gloomy side. Which, yeah, sorry for going on a tangent for so long about lessons and stuff. Which that's a really good explanation of Shinzo's question to Izuku, essentially, of how does he know that how does he know how it feels like to be treated like a villain, which essentially, yeah, Izuku was treated like a almost treated like a villain, but much worse, which where villains started, or yeah, which how villains are made, how killers are made, essentially. Which, yeah, which after that, which he actually got a heart to heart talk with Shinzo. After that, just a heart to heart talk, which explaining about problems, and actually Shinzo opening up to Izuku, which he hasn't done before. He actually opens up to Izuku and explains what has happened to him, what people think of him, always think of him. Izuku listened, and listened well, because he wants people to live a happy life, because what he experienced before doesn't he doesn't want anyone to experience that ever again, which I feel that for Izuku. Which after that they became actually best friends. Actually, Izuku acting as sometimes as Shinzo's therapist. Yeah, therapist or a very close friend. Which, yeah, eventually for the other girls is a fight. They were actually fighting against each other. Which, first of all, were Tatenashi versus Kanzashi, which I would say Kanzashi would win. Yeah, Kanzashi would win. No. Tatenashi would win because of because of her skill, but it would be a close match. It would really be a close match, because Kanzashi using her intellect instead of fighting power, which in fighting you always need strategy. Which for Cecilia versus Hoki, well, Hoki wins in this one using kendo, and Cecilia using, a sniper rifle, which is not really that good to say in close quarters, which sniper rifles are built for long range, which, yeah, so Hoki would win. And for Charlotte versus Laura, I think Charlotte would win. And Laura would have a close match with Charlotte, and I mean really close match. They essentially, for me, Charlotte and Laura are essentially equal, but the only difference is that Laura uses more tactics, more tactics and let's say gimmicks. For example, the in the anime she uses um a lot of weapons, and I mean a lot of weapons like the sub assault rifle to submachine guns to the shield breaker, if I remember. And Laura is more of a brute. Not essentially saying that, but Laura is more of a um, fighter of brute strength essentially. And yeah, but for but for Ren she fights kendo, which she actually studied martial arts. Ren studied martial arts, so she essentially actually defeats Kendo. And yeah, so for the next fight, which was Todoroki against Izuku, they still had the talk of it's your power, not his, which because I don't want to explain it anymore because we have heard it a lot of times that it's your power, not his. A lot of times, so I don't want to say it anymore. And yeah, essentially that. Their fight was actually not even considered a fight. Izuku was actually holding back to, not actually revealing all his cards because what's the fun in that? Which, yeah, he actually wins by using about 20% of his power. Not that is not including the IS, which including the IS is about 5% of his power because he has more versatility in using his IS. So yeah, and actually after that, Todoroki actually talked to Izuku and actually become his therapist. Izuku became Todoroki's therapist and actually explained to him all of his problems because there is always we always see the person or we always see the friend that that always can listen to us, to our problems, and actually help us. Which, yeah, for the others, which the second fight for them is Charlotte against Tatenashi. Which this is quite difficult, but Tatenashi would win just by her skill alone, by her skill and talent. But for Hoki versus Rin, Rin, I would think that Hoki would win because using kendo, because she having a kendo stick. And for obviously the next fight is Ida versus Izuku, which Izuku easily wins. Which the next fight was Tatenashi versus Rin, which Tatenashi won essentially because of using the spear as well as the fan. Because there is an ancient martial, if I remember, there is a martial art using fans, which is actually a good martial arts, which Tatenashi uses. Not in the anime, but in my what if she actually uses that kind of martial art, and actually wins against Rin. So after that, she fights against. Let's see. She fights against. No, not Rin. I mean Hoki. I mean, she wins against Hoki. Sorry about that. Wrong person. Sorry. She wins against Hoki. Sorry about that. But yeah. But for the next fight, Izuku versus Bakugo. This is a little bit different. Which Izuku was a little bit pissed off at Bakugo, really, and I mean really, because all of the abuse that he has, dealt to, but he feels sympathy for Bakugo as well. Uh, he's angry and sympathetic of Bakugo because of he for his way of thinking. So yeah, which essentially Izuku would win because of sheer versatility alone, as well as variety of firepower. Which for the final battle is Tatenoshi versus Izuku, which they actually were allowed this time. They are allowed to use their IS, which it's actually quite a unique battle. Which they're fighting, which like it's an Olympic game, like it's a tournament, or there is a cash prize to be won, like those Olympic tournaments or the Olympics. That's a good example of this. Their fight were fighting like full skills, which eventually in the end Izuku won, which everybody cheers for him. Everybody cheers for him and stuff, and all of the girls, all of Izuku's girls cheer for him. Which after that, which was the what was it called again? The awarding ceremony, which Izuku got first place, Tatenoshi getting second. Third place was actually Bakugo as well as Hoki. Because losing to because losing to the I guess fight to the before the before the finals, basically gaining the number 3 spot, which everybody clapped for them and cheered for them. Eventually, Izuku holds a celebration for all of them for their achievements in the sports festival at his house, which eventually gained Izuku, let's just say, a nice reward. I'm not gonna say what reward it is. It's up to your imagination of what the reward is. I'm just gonna say it was a nice reward. And Izuku slept beautifully. Which, essentially, that happened. And the screen fades to black. And that's the end of this part. I'm sorry guys, again, for not uploading. It's because of school and stuff. But I really hope you enjoy this series. If you're new here, please subscribe and don't forget to turn off the notifications, because for you guys to not miss my uploads, as well as for the future, if ever I get to hit 3K, there's a special what if that I've been planning to do, and it's actually quite a bit, and I mean a little bit interesting. But like I always say, like, comment, subscribe, and see you guys later. Bye.